Welcome to the Mesa Chamber of Commerce Inside Business Podcast. My name is Sally Harrison, and I'm the CEO of the Mesa Chamber of Commerce. Today, we're in the University of Phoenix podcast studio, and joining today's guest is Michelle Robertson with Magical Memories by Michelle. Welcome, Michelle.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks for being here this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Today, we're going to talk about photography.
I can do that.
Big topic, right? Topic. I need to get to know your company more, so let's talk about that. Talk about yourself and your business. How did you get started?
Well, like any mom, I take a ton of pictures. Kids were little. I used to love scrapbooking.
Mm-hmm.
And then our daughter was about 4 years old, and she was a gymnast. And I thought, okay, this will be a while before she's competing. But once you're in the gyms, you can't have flash photography. So I had to learn how to use a camera correctly without a flash. And photography you don't learn very quickly.
Sure.
It's just one of those things that you kind of have to jump in, and every time you learn one thing, there's 10 more things that you don't learn that you have to go back. So it just kind of kept going with it until I figured it out.
Well, and I'm sure technology has changed over the years.
Yes. My goodness, yes. Everything is digital. It doesn't have to be. I actually do know quite a few film photographers still, even now.
Wow.
But I joined some groups, had some great mentors, took classes, took more classes. When I got done, I took some more classes. And guess what? I'm still taking classes.
Ever evolving.
Yes.
Well, there's a lot of different types of photography. What type of sessions do you offer?
I do senior portraits. That is the biggest portion of my business.
Okay.
When I started doing everything. Like most people, any job that came my way, I took it. So I've done newborn, I've done maternity, I've done families, I've done everything.
Nice.
And within a couple of years, I actually had my work reviewed by some peers. And they all said, wow, your senior portraits are light years beyond everything else. So,
cool.
Okay. But you can only get those jobs if someone offers it to you. You know, if you don't have seniors coming to your door,
right?
You know, you still take the maternity and everything else.
Sure.
Or so I thought. So that was my first class was class of 2011, one of my first seniors. And so my first class was the class of 2011. And it's really kind of fun because one of them is now a PA. She's engaged. Over the years I've had, you know, obviously they get married, they grow up, and it's really fun to watch them become young adults. 2016 was completely life-changing. We decided, okay, we're going to go into this business. I've already been licensed since 2009, LLC since 2012, which is not very common, unfortunately, in photography. You have a lot of hobbyists that don't necessarily go through all those steps, but I did because I'm from a business family, so I knew that I had to do this all legally, all the insurance, all the licensing, everything. So 2016, I rebranded, and those classes taught me that it's okay to not take everything. Who knew? So basically gave me the confidence to say, you know what, we're going to do teens and seniors, and that's it. And I started turning away maternities, turning away families, and it just kind of took off. And the teenagers are phenomenal.
Very cool. Well, is it true that high school seniors have to use the school contracted photographer for their senior portraits?
No, it's not. A lot of people think that. I think some of it's just misinformation. They don't always know, and the school doesn't tell them.
Sure.
Everybody's been doing this for 100 years, and that's where they go. So you do have to have your yearbook photo. Typically, you have to have it done with the school's contracted photographer. My own son last year, he graduated in 2019, and our school no longer even goes to a studio. They literally have their senior pictures done in the auditorium with all the other kids. I'm sure you can tell from the tone of my voice, I was not pleased by this decision. Prior years, they at least went out to the studio and had, a couple of outdoor nice portraits. In all fairness, it's done wonders for my business because people were already looking for me, and now they're just that much more invested in what I do, and they love it. We go out, we have such a good time with these kids.
We'll talk about why senior pictures are important, and why is it important to invest in a professional photographer?
Well, one of the things that I've come to realize in the last couple of years is we all know how hard the teenagers are on themselves. So professional portraits really help with their confidence. It's kind of a side effect. I never had any idea would happen, but I've seen it firsthand with my own daughter at 14. Like every other teenager, Mom, I'm ugly. I don't like this. I don't like that. And her pictures were gorgeous. And I put a 20 by 30 up in my office. And she's like, yeah, Mom, but you edited that. No, sweetheart, I can't make you pretty. You just either are that way or, well, pretty much you are that way. And so I found out over the course of the next few years, I think it was one of my 2017 kids, she was looking through hers, because we also do products. I don't do just digital. And she was looking through them. Wow, Mom, I really am pretty. So there's all of this confidence that goes along with it as well.
Sure.
And even more so, that's why I started getting into the younger teenagers as well. So now like 10 or 11, they do sports, they do other things. They do all these activities that parents don't always realize aren't always going to be there. Get the portraits now, because all of a sudden, and again, my own experience, my daughter was a gymnast. I thought she was going to go to college for that. All of a sudden, too many injuries. You know what? We're done. We're a diver now. And I'm glad I have the pictures of her younger, as a gymnast. Same thing can happen. If your kid's in soccer, they might decide to do anything or switch instruments, or who knows what they would do.
That's very true. How is Magical Memories by Michelle different? That's a mouthful of M's. I'm sorry.
It is. It is. But I tried to find another business name and it didn't work. And this one just fits.
It's easy for you. It's Michelle.
I'm getting there. And it's also a really long website, because that's exactly what our website is magicalmemoriesbymichelle.com. So it's a mouthful, but it's worth it to go visit.
All right.
So tell me the question again.
How is it different? How are you different? How do you stand out?
Everything I do, literally everything from the moment you contact me is going to be different from what most people expect or they have experienced.
Okay.
Many people have not had professional portraits maybe since they were married. And that's maybe the only ones they've ever had. And when I talk about professional portraits, unfortunately, I don't mean the mom down the street that says, I'll give you $50, you come take my pictures.
Right.
That is not what I do. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of professionals, even in the Phoenix area. But even from them, most places do by the number of outfits or something along those lines.
Right.
I don't do any of that. I don't want to be rushed. I don't want my clients to be rushed. I have a style closet. The kids can actually come pick out clothes. So we go out. Oh, it's so much fun. We go out. I don't watch a clock, any of that. It's just something that's kind of informal. I help them pose. I help style them. We pick locations. Sometimes we're out for 3 or 4 hours. It just kind of depends. So that's one of the things. And then this, like I said, the style closet, that's a big deal. We have lots of outfits, because sometimes the kids love the styles, but I'm only going to wear it once. So, that kind of cuts down on the expenses from that standpoint.
Sure. Okay. Well, you answered my next question then. So do you have any special programs for high school juniors or seniors?
Well, one other thing that we did do, I just started this last year because it's been a problem. The kids don't get their caps and gowns until right before graduation. And for years I fought this. Every once in a while, you used to tell them, find a friend that graduated last year. You can get your tassel early. If you guys get anything from this podcast, please, if you have a senior, get the tassel early. I cannot provide this. There's a million different schools, and last year's tassel doesn't do you any good because it has the wrong year on it.
Right.
Since my son graduated, I have his cap and gown available. I have also gone back to all of my other seniors and said, hey, if you guys have a cap and gown laying around and you don't want it, can I have it, please? So I actually have a stack.
Nice.
But on top of that, again, if you don't have the tassel,
Right.
But what we did last year, all of my seniors, because they're my babies, we had a cap and gown party at the end of the year.
Cool.
And we went downtown and we ordered pizzas and I took pictures of all the kids and it was all free of charge.
Very
My
cool.
seniors are important to me and I knew that's what the moms wanted.
Sure.
So we went out and I got individuals of every one of my seniors and they all got the digital files and then had a chance to order portraits if they wanted them. And then I actually got some group shots of all the kids together throwing their
fun.
caps. Yeah, we had an absolute blast. It was
Very
awesome.
Cool. Very cool. Well, so where are you located? What's the best way to contact you? You told us your website. It's long, so you might want to repeat it.
It's long, yes. I'm actually in East Mesa.
Okay.
My son graduated from Desert Ridge, so we're way out east, District
Go
6.
Jags.
Yep, all the way out there.
Yep.
With Kevin Thompson, District
Yes.
6. He actually lives just a couple miles from us, so if you know the area.
Yep.
Phone number is 480-779-7797. Also a lot of repeatable digits, as I'm realizing.
Yep.
But they can call, they can text.
Okay.
They can email. It's all on my website. Again, the website is magicalmemoriesbymichelle.com. And yes, it's a mouthful, but if you type it in there, you could probably even just go on Google. And if you search for senior pictures, I'm going to come up at the top. That's
Cool.
been kind of a chore, but I have gotten there.
Good.
So if you go on Google and you find me, go click on it. Go check out my stuff.
Sounds good. Anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
The only thing I did want to say, the other thing that is different that we do is we're actually more product-based than digitals.
Okay. What does that mean to everybody?
Doesn't mean that you don't get digitals. We do offer them because that's what the kids want. We actually have an app for the kids to have.
Cool.
So that they can share their images safely online. We can talk about that more if people come in for consultation, but we are big on the safety.
Cool.
And then from that, we offer prints, image boxes, acrylics, albums, and not the stuff that you get from Shutterfly or Costco.
Right.
These are high-end,
Very
beautiful products. In fact, I have 2 in my car right now. I'm getting ready to go deliver.
Awesome.
And they are stunning. Moms love us.
That's awesome. Well, Michelle, thank you for joining us today on the Inside Business Podcast. You can find all of our episodes of the Inside Business Podcast at iTunes, Google Play, or your own favorite podcast website. You can also find them online at mesachamber.org.